We are following some breaking news in Dominion's defamation lawsuit against Fox News. The judge in the case just announced the two sides have reached a settlement. That announcement came on the same day opening statements were set to begin in the $1.6 billion press freedom, which is what Fox was arguing, freedom of the press. And this argument by Dominion, which said that you cannot knowingly disseminate misinformation. It was anticipated that this is the type of case that would have gone all the way to the Supreme Court. Talk about the stakes of this case.
Well, I think one of the interesting things that we saw play out here, but during the pretrial hearings, and there was an initial ruling before the trial even got underway from the judge that actually declared the statements, the conspiracy theories swirling around Dominion voting system, suggesting they had some kind of role in rigging the 2020 presidential election. The judge ruled those to be false ahead of time. He said it was crystal clear those statements were not true. And so Dominion's job throughout the rest of this, throughout the trial, was merely to prove defamation and that they acted with actual malice, which is a difficult standard to reach. And it's why a lot of defamation cases frequently don't reach trial. They are settled outside or they are settled before they even reach trial. And actual malice means that Dominion had to prove that Fox knowingly aired false claims or at least acted with reckless disregard for the truth. But again, so many eyes have been on this case, especially when you consider there are other similar suits coming down the pipeline.
Rupert Murdoch's Fox News cable network and former President Donald Trump's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, are the targets of a $2.7 billion defamation lawsuit filed Thursday by Smartmatic, a maker of voting technology. The suit alleges they defamed the company by inventing a story that the election was stolen from Trump and decided to make Smartmatic the, quote, villain. Filed in New York County Supreme Court, it also names as defendants former Trump lawyer Sidney Powell and popular Fox hosts Lou Dobbs, Maria Bartiromo, and Jeanine Pirro. After the election, Trump and some of his supporters spread false claims of election fraud, including that Smartmatic and competitor Dominion Voting Systems manipulated the results. Unlike Dominion, whose technology was used in at least 24 states, Smartmatic's was only used in one place for the November 3rd presidential election, Los Angeles County, a Democratic stronghold which Biden won. The lawsuit, cited as evidence on-air exchanges such as one between Bartiromo and Giuliani on November 17th. Bartiromo asked Giuliani, quote, "What do you think went on here? Because when we spoke on Sunday, we talked about the software made by Smartmatic that was changing votes from Trump to Biden." On December 10th, Smartmatic sent a letter to Fox News demanding that it retract the allegations leveled by its employees and guests. But Fox did not issue a retraction. Instead, in December, it aired an interview featuring an outside expert who confirmed there was no evidence to support the Smartmatic claims by Fox hosts and guests. In a statement on Thursday, Fox said, quote, "Fox News Media is committed to providing the full context of every story. With in-depth reporting and clear opinion, we are proud of our 2020 election coverage and will vigorously defend the meritless lawsuit in court." Dominion Voting Systems has filed similar lawsuits against Giuliani and Powell.
A jury just hit Donald Trump with this record-breaking penalty for lying about a sexual assault accuser. Defendant Trump ordered to pay $83 million to the writer E. Jean Carroll. She is the victorious plaintiff in this case. And right here you can see as she first walked out of court with her lawyers today. Now, we can tell you the jury deliberated for just under 3 hours. That is fast. And they dealt Trump a huge loss which sets records and shows a very costly miscalculation that he, an ongoing defendant, made by, according to the court system, lying and defaming her again after a previous court victory. Here are the numbers tonight. If you've been watching the news, you may have seen some of this. I'm going to break it down for you. $18 million to compensate Carroll. Okay, that is what the jury found she should get for what she went through. And then that larger number, a massive $65 million to punish this defiant defendant. I'm going to walk you through why that is such a high number. The jury determined that defendant Trump acted maliciously in the ways that he attacked Carroll. Now, this is big in every sense, a large amount of money, even for a wealthy defendant. a huge punishment administered by this court system, which can extract the funds directly from a defendant's account. In this case, a defendant who has been found civilly liable. So it doesn't matter whether Donald Trump ever chooses to write the check. As long as he owes this, as long as this is the judgment and it's not somehow later reversed, the court system can take the 83 mil from his accounts, from his properties, period. This also sets a huge and significant precedent, as lawyers and legal reporters certainly know, which is why reporters at the courthouse were literally heard to gasp in a kind of a collective, immediate, emotional response, gasped when they heard the $65 million figure that was first announced. It was far larger than most cases. The New York Times has that detail about the courtroom reaction today. Now, Trump did attend closing arguments. That was earlier today. He was in this very courtroom, but he left before the verdict and damages there were read. And I could tell you this PR-conscious defendant may have known how bad it could play for him to be there in the room when he was held to account and when this jury exercised its legal authority over him, its civil authority, to take money out of his account. And history can be instructive here. Remember, a court had already found defendant Trump had defamed Carol. In fact, we always try to be straightforward with you. If you're going, Ari, I feel like I've lived through this news day before, but with a different number, you have. She previously got about $5 million in damages from him, again, over the same issue. A court process finding that he lied, that he defamed her in the way that he attacked her and denied her assertion and claims about the sexual assault that she says he perpetuated on her. Now, his insistence on attacking her after that, which, again, I'm just telling you what the court system found, has now been ruled to be more legally determined lies, that he defamed her again. It was that which set the stage for this unusually high penalty. You can compare $83 million to other cases. For example, take the different legal situation, but serious situation where a legal process tries to issue damages for a fatal shooting, for a situation where someone was shot to death. This case, we just want to show you one by estimation, by example, resulted in a $7 million payment. I could tell you there are other cases involving wrongful death, defamation, or other civil torts, as the lawyers call them, where you'd have $3, $5, $7 million. What you have here, $83 million, not for the original lie, but for what a court system found was the malicious, defamatory, ongoing set of lies against this woman who exercised her rights to detail her story of sexual assault. That is how it got all the way up to $80 million, this being one of the largest defamation punishments for any single defendant, any single person in history.